So we're wrapping up our cruise. We're heading back into Hanoi, the city of Hanoi. All the cruise ships are basically coming into port at this time. We just finished a lovely brunch. And again, the weather's cloudy. I'm going to say it's maybe not quite as cold as we've had in the last couple of days. If I was a guessing man, and Sherry will straighten me out later, I don't have the Wi-Fi on right now. I'm going to say it's probably about 17, 18 degrees, but overcast. Yeah, so all these boats will come into this area here, and they'll drop us all off. Pardon me. And over there and around the corner and up the slip a little bit, there's all kinds of people waiting that just jumped off a bus and are waiting to come back on. And it continues day by day. And I just found out from talking to the cruise manager on the ship here that all the staff in that, they sleep below decks, like in the hull of the ship. And the room that we showed you in the early part of the video that Sherry and I have, that's for 9 people. 9 people sleep in that one room. So things are definitely a little bit different for the crew of this vessel. But overall, a really good experience. Only the weather, and that was just, you know, it took a little bit of shine off it, but had a great time and a wonderful place to visit. So our captain is busy in the wheelhouse, just spinning and basically clearing people out of the way. We're all standing in front of this board just looking, but he's like, get out of the way, I can't see. In a language we couldn't understand, of course. But his hand gestures clearly pointed out what he was looking for. Kind of interesting trying to figure out what he's doing here. If we're gonna, like, I don't know if he's gonna park on the side. I know there is a side entrance to this. Like most of the stuff that when we're getting in off this boat, it's through the back end, but there's a boat that's currently tied to the back end. Now they can disengage that thing in a heartbeat, I guess, if they had to. But it's just interesting watching ships coming out, backing in, and this guy at the horn and blinking the wheel and right into his hand. Okay! Good catch. 20th time's the charm. So that's our ship. There's the new supplies going on back there. So this is the ship we traveled on. Not a bad old vessel. Definitely has been around for a spell. I don't have enough knowledge to say if it was like it's got some age to it, but really the room was fairly comfortable. But it's amazing, like as soon as they get into port, everybody's grabbing junk and dirty laundry, and there's a cleaning staff that we saw just as we were exiting, all in orange shirts to buff the bad boy down. Oh yeah, you can see them right there. And those were the orange shirt gals. They'll wipe and do the whole deck, and then there was folks with laundry, and I think that's what we saw, just wheeling off the end. Fresh food supplies coming on. It's pretty cool how they run things. And so we've got about 50 minutes. We got in a little bit early, so we're just going to chill around the port here and maybe look at some stuff or just have a coffee and sit back and relax. Supplies being put on board, getting ready for the next set of cruise. We just came back from taking a walk, and so our boat is the one that's closest into the pier, and then these other 2 boats have snuggled up against it. Yeah, some of them are actually fairly big. Like, ours wasn't a bad size, but look at that one in the middle, that's fat. So we'll look at this slow flapping flag B-roll that I've installed at the end. We're now wrapping up our time out here at the pier and going to be jumping on our bus to head into Hanoi and spend one more day there. I highly recommend anybody that's going to visit Vietnam, be sure that you put this in your itinerary. I think it's also beneficial to squeeze that extra night out here. Otherwise, you're not going to get to see some of the stuff on the outer fringe. But overall, what a wonderful experience. Just a quick snippet of video as we were heading into Hanoi. It's not the best picture, but you can just see some of the shipping that goes on in that harbor. So pretty cool. So we've started our walk about Hanoi proper. Like we're in the French Quarter, or the Old Quarter. Standing in front of the cathedral. And you can see it's a pretty neat looking gray building, but it's closed. It's only open on the weekends. Go figure on that. This is sanctuary. What if I was like all hunchbacky and wanted to, escape and call for sanctuary, and I'm locked out? What is happening to the churches today? So we're walking our way down towards the lake, and then we're going to follow around the edge of the lake to go where the puppet show is. We're just going to wander around there. But can you see these? This gal walked up and high pressure sailed us into these donuts. She didn't give me a free sample though. And it's good. It's just a little round donut ball, kind of like a Tim's bit, but the outer shell is a little bit more crunchy and chewy. And man, are they ever good. But she called me a cheapskate for only paying 50,000 dong for them, which I haven't even figured out what that's worth. But everything is a serious negotiation down here. And I don't know what rock bottom is, but we'll keep you informed as we move along. I'm videotaping Sherry. She's just absolutely intimidated by this traffic. She doesn't like it. I think it's amazing that they can just stop and sit on these small little chairs. And then there's a gal just making some deep fried food. Everybody's snacking, having a good time. I just had to get a picture of this hotel because, man, what a beautiful building. Yeah, it's hard to say. A lot of this stuff is left over from the French influence, and this must have been someplace back in its heyday. Rickshaw people. Cool. So we're walking around the city, and then we come across the rat. Now, we've heard of these urban dwelling rats, but this was the meanest rat we've ever seen on the planet. And let me walk it through like this. Nope, too cute. Still pretty. No, not that guy. Okay, well, yes, but it's still very well. We're moving in the right direction now. Like we've got well, there's the disease look I'm talking about, and he's got a snarl to his face. Now we're starting to get close to the type of creature where look at the great teeth on that thing. Oh, and look at the attitude there, because that's what we're talking about. Yeah, now we're talking mutant urban rat like this one, but not quite so hairy. Definitely losing the fur like we saw, with total attitude, just like that. It's just ready to attack at any second. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. This is what we saw. So he's hiding in that little hollow there, poking his head out, and that is one mangy rat. Look at him, he's just gearing up to jump forward. I mean, at any second he's about to lunge right at my throat. Look at that guy walk by, not even aware of the danger he was in, but I am aware of what's going on here.
Look at those beady eyes, just looking for that moment, that shabby skin. Any second he could lunge at me, but I am ready for him.
Looks like he's ready to charge out at any second.
Yeah, but he didn't.
We had to cross the road to get a look at this tree because this is amazingly ginormous. Wow. And it's attached to a pretty spectacular looking building. And it's been here for a while. We don't know what it is. Currently it's some kind of a business thing, but I suppose at one time this was the rich and affluent neighborhood of rich France people. I mean, after all, this was a French colony, so who's to say if that house right there in the back wasn't somebody's personal mansion at one time prior to 46 when the Vietnamese kicked out the French. One of the cool things about Hanoi is just you take a walk around, you find all these gorgeous little cafe, coffee shops, and people just milling about past the lake. And this is another town just loaded with lakes. Look at this here. This is a bunch of abandoned dogs. And they all seem to be of one particular caliber. Bird cages, the whole 9 yards. Some of them young, some of them old. Thank you. This is our last night in Hanoi. Tomorrow we fly home to Chiang Mai, and we just walked a block or so past our hotel, and a couple restaurants had different things. I felt like having some pho, so this one could deliver. Sherry's going for her last banh mi with chicken, and I don't know the name of the restaurant. We'll get some of the particulars and we'll just see how it goes. Everything is high pressure when it comes to, you know, you walk by and just look at a restaurant, they're on you. So it's interesting. Like our entrance, there is a huge amount of people that have to be, we've been stamped out, now we have to go through the security side of things. And it is one monstrous snake lineup. 8:45 is when we started. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, it took us 20 minutes from the time we started that crazy line until we got through there, and they just jam that stuff through there. You put your stuff in the baskets and they just, I don't know, they look at it or whatever, but it just, there was stuff popping off the conveyor as they're just processing, and anyhow, we're through. Yeah, so that's it. That pretty much wraps up our time in Vietnam. We're going to close out with just a couple of still shots of just things. I threw some of our favorite photos out in a different video, but here's a couple things. When we got back to shore, there's a few paintings for sale, so I was kind of taking pictures of them and fooling around with my camera with various features, so I kind of liked the way these things kind of turned out, so I threw them in there. It's always an ongoing thing with me when I see something to take a picture of, farting around with it, and I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I thought I'd just throw them in there. And yeah, I mean, and these were the various companies that took the cruises, you know, me and my flower shots, and saw this booze at the bar there, and that guy snoring on the way back, that guy was so loud it shook the whole bus.